Will Smith, Jessica Alba, Carrie Underwood. All of these people have had massive success in their career. However, they've made crucial mistakes that I don't want you to make if you want a better work-life balance.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 103 of Licensed to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, tell them about this show and join us along this journey. You know all you have to do is subscribe to any podcast player and you will be connected. Today, we are talking about mistakes that are commonly made that keep people from having that work-life balance. We'll be looking at these mistakes that all of these massively successful people have made, and we will make sure that you don't make them in your own life. And we will get right to our discussion right after we finish thanking our sponsors.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, Licensed to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Licensed to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to Licensed to Live.
Today's affirmation is, my life, experiences, beliefs, and actions inspire and benefit others. Take this one and really think about it, because you know what? Your life and the path that you are leading can enrich others every single day, no matter what you do. So take this affirmation, practice it daily, and see how things change in your life. Work-life balance is one of those things that people oftentimes look to achieve. I mean, there's countless studies that say most people, when they're looking at jobs, when they're looking at their career, they want to achieve work-life balance. And many people just don't think that's possible. But today, we're going to talk about several mistakes that people commonly make, even highly successful people, because I don't want you to make those same mistakes. And we will keep you focused and have better balance in your life. The first common mistake people should avoid is the Will Smith assumption. Will it's constantly said that, hey, if you want work-life balance, you either have to be good at your work life or you have to be good at your home life. You simply can't do both. And that's a very common mistake people make. And they say, well, my life is good enough, or my job is good enough, and I can live in this existence. But it's not excellent. It's not great. And people think, well, you can only have a good life and maybe a mediocre job, or a mediocre job and a mediocre life and a good job. However you want to put it. Look, people stumble across this one all the time. And I'm here to tell you that achieving work-life balance is certainly possible. You must look at all of the options to you and find a way how to combine things in each other. So Will really focused on his career at certain times, and he focused at his home life on certain times, but he really struggled to make both of them exceptional. And I do want you guys all to know that there is a way for you to have this balance, but it starts with not making the mistake of thinking you can only be good at one or only be good at the other. The second most common mistake I call the Jessica Alba approach. Now, Jess, she is always judging herself so harshly about the different decisions she made regarding her work life and her home life. She was very, very explicit in the fact that every decision she made, she judged herself so harshly on this. And a lot of times we do this. And I know even in my executive career as president of the medical staff of an 8-hospital institution, I would often be judging myself over the decisions I make. Hey, well, I got to run the med exec committee tonight. Well, I guess I'll be getting home pretty late and I'll be missing the soccer game. And I would judge myself. Should I really be at this meeting or should I be at my kid's soccer game? And that was tough. And I realized early on, just like Jessica, that you need to show yourself some compassion. You shouldn't be harsh on yourself so that each little decision that you make along the way cause you angst. It really should be something that, hey, I need to make a decision. And at this point in my life, maybe it's better to attend this meeting, or perhaps I have to take extra patients in the clinic, or my legal proceedings went longer than I anticipated. Don't judge yourself. There's sometimes you simply have to do things to get your job done. And that's one of the things we talk about often in this podcast. Hey, you need to make sure that you are doing the things then which will get you that time freedom, so that, well, it's all about your life and less about your job, because your job is a part of your life. So the Jessica Alba approach, although she severely judged herself about each of the decisions, I'm just saying, show yourself a little compassion. The third mistake people commonly make is what I call the Carrie Underwood conundrum. Now, Carrie, she often felt guilty, very guilty about the decisions that she made. She was different than Jessica in judging herself. She actually felt guilt. So this is a different emotion that we often feel. And I can recall a number of times I'd be away at a retreat, I'd be away at a conference, and something great would happen in one of my family members' lives. And I would feel some guilt around missing that, but I'd also have to look at the overall picture and take a few steps away and saying, well, in the overall scheme of things, this wasn't something that was critical. It was something certainly nice to do. But at the time, I did have to make a decision. I either had to be in Los Angeles speaking on this stage, or I could have been at home doing something different. And either decision is valid because they both have great means that come at the end. However, you can't beat yourself up and feel guilty all the time about these decisions. And if you do feel guilt, you have to put all of these decisions in perspective and know that you are doing the best you can. And when you do the best you can, well, that is the best you can. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect, but you must move on. So get rid of the guilt. The fourth mistake that people commonly make is the Jennifer Garner gripe. I named the Jen Garner gripe because for years she was being hounded by the media. People were always asking her about her home life and the decisions she made that about her career life. And she always wanted to know why her husband, Ben Affleck, was never asked about this at the time. Ben was never asked about his work or life decisions. Jen simply griped that this is a woman's issue. And I want to tell you that it's really not a woman's issue. And if you feel like it's only a woman's issue, you have to really look at the overall perspective of life. And if this is a mother and a father that are here raising children, they're doing other things, you have to understand that it is a team that often has to come together to make it all work. And this is not, something exclusive of celebrities. It's not something exclusive of all you fire starters out there. It is common life that we have to make these decisions. But for all of the women out there, it is not a woman's only decision. This really is a teamwork. And this is solved by something I call the Obama option. Now, as you guys know, I drove in President Obama's motorcade when he was doing a community visit in Pennsylvania. It's been about a decade ago. And he always has interesting things to say about family. And one of the things I really admired about Barack and Michelle is that they tackled the family life together as a team. Now, you can argue that the president of the United States may be one of the busiest people in the world. Their time is always accounted for somehow, somewhere, by somebody or some affiliation or country. They are extremely busy. And when you looked at how they tackled that approach and said, hey, look, we really have to come together, mom, dad, and raise these kids in the White House, just like previous presidents who had younger children in the White House as well. And that in and of itself can solve a lot of the problems around the Jen Garner gripe, because it takes the pressure off of people thinking that this is only a man's issue or only a woman's issue. It's really about coming together. So I wanted to jump on and talk about these common mistakes because, well, there are some decision points that you all have to make along the way. I've had to make these decision points. I mean, I could go on about, times that I missed out on some family fun, or some times that, I actually wasn't around the job to make a key decision. And that's one of the reasons I love doing what I do now, is because I can have accountability over my time. And there are times that I need to work. There's times that I need to talk to you guys through this podcast. But there's also times I like to kick back or enjoy something with my family, or do something even for myself to keep my batteries recharged. And that's what I ask all of you. So I often give this advice to have a great life with the acronym LIFE. This will help you avoid some of these common mistakes. So L, look at your goals. You need to look at your goals, both short-term and long-term. And oftentimes people get so caught up in the short-term goals, like, oh, I need to get a paycheck, or, oh, I need to hurry up and complete this shift, that they forget to look at their long-term goals. And those long-term goals are really more essential in your overall growth and development and satisfaction in life. So yes, we all have the financial pressures of today's economy with inflation out of control. So making a little bit of money, getting that paycheck 2 weeks from now could be one of your short-term goals. But if your life overall is unhappy, you really need to refocus those long-term goals and say, hey, I may not be working in this place for a very long time. I may not want to spend all of my free time worrying about a place that really doesn't worry about me. So look at those long-term goals, and this is a perfect time to develop them. And, if you ever need help with looking in that long range, you know where to shout out. timewithdrjarrett.com. I integrate. This is a difficult part for many people, but if you integrate your work into your life and your life into your work, you end up getting a very good balance. Now, this may not be completely possible for many people whose time, like the president, is accounted for every minute of the day. So sometimes you have to show up at 8 or show up at 6:30 or show up at 11:30 and get to work and do what you're supposed to do for the next X number of hours, which can certainly go into those double digits for a lot of you guys. And then I go home, sleep for a couple minutes and repeat. And when you don't have control of your time or it's accounted for by other people, you start to feel the pull of what do I need to cut out of life? And it may be self-care things that we've talked about so much. It may be developmental things that develop yourself that we talk about a lot too. And you end up denying yourself just in order to keep some of those work goals in line and try to keep up with the pace. So now you're faced with the challenge of trying to integrate your work into your life. And if your work isn't a real match with your life, meaning you're looking at your goals, you're looking at the values, and you're doing the same thing at your workplace, you say, this may be a mismatch. And all this time I've been feeling this pressure one way or another. It may not be the right thing. So you look for little things you can do to modify your job so that it gets in line with your life a little bit better. And that way, that integration, work into life and life into work, comes together. And this is something I did not realize myself until I became an entrepreneur, because my time working in corporate healthcare was always accounted for. I mean, I didn't even think about it otherwise. Oh, there's a meeting. We needed you to speak here. You need to address the media here. You need to do that. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, sure. This is what I'm doing. But I didn't see how to integrate my life into my work until much later. And fortunately, I had my License to Live story that kind of shook everything in my life upside down. And I was able to look at an entirely new career line in which I love, and it integrates into my life so well. So I know that's a difficult challenge for many of you, but it often is just minor modifications that will help keep you going. Now, the third tip for a great life, L.I.F.E, is fun. Have more fun in your life. And one of the things that I told myself, even probably as short as 9 or 10 months ago, I mean, this pandemic has taken the fun out of a lot of things. And guess what? I told myself that whatever I do, I'm going to have more fun. When I went to Los Angeles for a couple of days and wrote my newest book, and I'll tell you guys more about that in the coming months as we're going through the editing process. But as I went to go write this book, and I said, I've never written a book in 2 days before, but I'm going to try that. And you know what? I'm going to have fun doing it. And when you intend on having fun with something, that makes it great. You're not going to have a bad time. I mean, many of you guys don't even know that, well, I do like to golf from time to time. And I know that's kind of a doctor stereotype, but I do like to golf. I learned how to golf. I took some lessons so I could become good at golfing, but I was never good at golfing. And, the more I would try, the harder I would work at, it seems like the worse I would become sometimes. And so I said, you know what? This isn't supposed to be a chore. This isn't supposed to be a task. This is supposed to be something that I'm having fun with. And instead, it was causing me all this frustration. And while I'm sitting here saying, hitting this little white ball shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't, but it was for me, and it was a challenge, and it was something that I had to reframe in my mind. Taking all of the lessons in the world, I don't think that would make me an excellent golf player. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go out and have fun. I just get up to the first tee, place my ball down, line myself up, make sure I'm stretched out, and I just take a swing and let it go and say, I'm going to have fun. And, I started having better shots. I started playing better, and it was more fun because I told myself it was going to be more fun. If I hit a ball into the woods, okay, I'd go off and I'd look for it. If I hit one in the lake, oh, well, another ball lost. It didn't matter. The goal was fun, and fun I had. And so I would be able to enjoy some time with my friends, enjoy time with some family members out in the great outdoors. And well, right now in the middle of this extremely cold winter time, I wish I was on a golf course now, but hey, coming to Florida soon. I'm coming to Las Vegas soon. So maybe I'll bring my clubs with me because the climate will be a little bit better in those places as it is in Metro Philadelphia. But I digress. It's all about having fun in your life. And if you can reframe and make sure you're having fun at your job, you're going to do much better. This is probably one of the biggest keys to having a better life is the fun. Every time I've reframed something into fun, I've just had tremendous success. And I encourage you to give that a try. If there's something in your life that's frustrating you, something in your life that's difficult right now, make it more fun. E, expectations. Oh, yes. Now, this ties directly back into affirmation. This ties directly back into how you are going to have a great life because of your expectations. And this is why I've been talking with you guys about affirmations. I've been talking with you guys about all of these other things because, well, if you expect great things to come to you, they will. If you expect greatness, it will come. If you expect a VIP lifestyle, you will have a VIP lifestyle. If you expect things to work out in your life, well, you know what? They will. The mindset and the way you talk yourself out of good things happening to you happens on such a frequent basis. Many of you can't see it. You'll make a decision on something based on, that'll never happen, so I'm just going to go this way. And when you have that negativity coming to you, you can never let yourself go. But if you expect wonderful things to come your way, this world is full of abundance. And it's not living in a world of scarcity. Although you may think and you may look and there is scarcity at times, it's overwhelmingly in abundance. And you have to see that abundance and add it to your expectations. Because let's face it, if I go up to that tee and say, well, I'm probably just going to hit this in the woods. Well, guess what? I'll probably hook it off into the woods. If I say, you know what, I think I'm going to have a little bit of fun and have a decent shot, I might knock it right down the fairway. It's all about what you expect. And I know a lot of you guys are like, yeah. Well, I expect to win $17 million. Well, yes, if you think that you may do that by playing the lottery or something, well, that very well may not happen, but it may keep you playing the lottery. So you may keep spending that money and wasting it down the tube. But if you expect to make $17 million, you say, well, I can't possibly do that with the job I have right now. Well, that could be something to think about. You may not be in the right place. You certainly haven't reached your financial maximum because you're being capped wherever you're being capped, whether it's within a hospital organization or your law firm, or you guys are working as an executive somewhere. Well, you know what? Your income can be capped. If you are working on some businesses or working on some plans and doing some other things that may provide you with additional streams of income, well, guess what? You start to remove that cap. and you may be capped in one area, but you become uncapped somewhere else. So it's about those expectations. You can't just expect to get $17 million and keep doing the same things and living the same life that did not provide that $17 million in the first place. You need to try something different. So look at your goals. Integrate your work into your life and your life into work. Have more fun. Make sure you're having more fun and have great expectations. And this is the way that you can have a better life. And remember the common mistakes that people make and avoid those mistakes. And guess what? You are going to be much closer to being in that work-life balance that you need. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and subscribe to Licensed to Live and tell a friend about it. A lot of times I talk to people online. You know, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me everywhere at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word Dr. J-A-2-R-E-1-T. And they say, oh, you have a podcast. Yeah, I've had a podcast for a few years now. And I enjoy this. I enjoy talking to you guys. I like to see the comments that you have. Some of you guys send me some really thoughtful things that help me improve the show. And hey, tell a friend. That's the biggest way that this message spreads, because, hey, we're not alone in this and we can do better. So if I don't see you on LinkedIn before the next episode, where is a lot of the time I'm hanging out there, I will see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.